Hey, it's Roger. I'm making a video. A couple of people have asked me about how I make my pizza dough, and I think through a lot of trial and error, I've come pretty close to perfect as far as like a New York style home kitchen version of the whole recipe. So I'll do this in a couple of different parts. This will be the dough, which I would argue is like 60 or 70% of your success or failure here. I'm going to start with the list of things you're going to need. 3 packets of this active dry yeast. We're going to need about 20 grams, so that's about 3 of these. A kitchen scale, a food thermometer to make sure your water is about 110 degrees, lukewarm water, extra virgin olive oil, kosher salt, King Arthur bread flour. I like the unbleached. Make sure it's unbleached bread flour, any kind of unbleached bread flour. This is very important. Tipo Zero. Yeah, this is like specialty flour, specialty Italian flour, for delicate pastries and stuff, and granulated sugar. First things first, and this is why it's important to weigh, to use a kitchen scale to weigh this stuff and zero this out once this is on, is because when you're measuring out dry stuff, you can't really use a measuring cup. It's not going to give you an accurate number. I mean, it'll just be off, right? So for this, I need 30 ounces of the King Arthur bread flour. So let's measure out 30 ounces of this stuff. It's going to be a mixture of the bread flour and the Tipo Zero. Okay, went a little bit over. Whoops. Went a little bit over, but that's fine. And now I want to get that 30 up to 45. Which will give us 45 ounces of stuff. And once I get close, I'm going to go a little bit more fine. Right around there. A little more. All right, good enough. 45. Next up, we need 1 ounce of sugar. So let's zero out. At this point, there's so much stuff in there, I could just measure it out. It's going to be like 3 tablespoons. So let's just do that. 3 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2, 3. And was I right? That should be about 1 ounce. All right, it's a little bit more than an ounce. Next up is this 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. It's important to have salt in there and sugar, but salt especially, because then it's a weird tasting bread without it. And then these 3 packets of yeast, so about 20 grams altogether. Whoops. No one wants that. All right, that's all the dry stuff. Now that the dry stuff is in there, I'm going to pause. I'm going to go over to the stand mixer, pulse this a couple of times, mix it a couple of times on dry, and then we'll add the water and the oil. All right, next step is going to be to add the pizza hook or the dough hook attachment to your stand mixer, and just let it go a couple of times, just to very slowly move this stuff around. And while that's going, I'm going to get my next stuff ready, which is my oil and my water. The water will need 3.5 cups, and this is kind of important. The temperature of the water needs to be lukewarm. It needs to be at around 100, between 108 and 112. I don't know the science behind that, but I've done enough of this to figure out that the right temperature where this is going to work is, it needs to be around 108 degrees. So I'm not there yet. Alright, so I've measured it. You want to get it at like 108, 110, somewhere around there. Alright, now that this is there, it's been mixing for a minute. I'm going to add my water. This is 2 cups first, slowly. Okay, and then we get another 1.5 cups. Here's another 1.5 cups to make it 3.5. Okay, so this is going to get thick pretty quick. I'm going to slowly adjust the timing, the speed of the motor. Move it around a little bit. And then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of extra virgin. 1, 2, 3. Alright, this is kneading. You could do it with your hand. This is the way that I've done it before. Moving it up. Basically, we want to get this mixture to form like a ball that's going to ride around the bowl and stick to the hook. So we're getting there. Almost there. Okay, so you see how on the side of the bowl there's no more dry flour anymore? We're very, very close. Okay, I'm going to stop here. What I want to happen is I'm going to lift this. I think we need to go a little bit more. Let me pull it. It's actually pulling it and it doesn't break apart. It doesn't like rip. Yeah, it needs to. I think it needs to go a little bit more. I want it to be a little bit more cohesive. So this is trial and error. You just gotta know when to do. You know, when it's ready. When it's more of a ball, that's when it's ready. I want to pull on it, and I don't want it to tear. Let's get it off the hook. Okay, let's go for like 15 more seconds. Let's see what we can get to. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's stop here. Next step, this one's fun. You take the clean cutting board, throw a little bit of flour on top, because now we're about to hand knead the dough. It should be, and it will be. It will be kind of tacky and sticky. It's what we want anyway. Okay, all came out. Okay, this is enough to make 4 individual pizzas. So the way I do it, I like to roll it inside of itself just by grabbing it on the sides. And you see how like it's kind of in there? I want to make it basically like a ball, like this. I'm just going to keep rolling it into itself. And then when I get here, I kind of roll it like that. You want it to be like in this shape and leave it for a couple of minutes. Let it get to know itself. It's now touching parts that it hasn't touched in a while. Leave this here, maybe put a damp rag on top of it, maybe some damp wax paper, and cover it with a kitchen towel for 10 minutes, and it should explode a little bit, but not much, but just getting to know each other. After that, we're going to divide this into 4, do this again, this process of putting it into a ball, and we're going to individually put them in Gallon Ziploc bags, because it has to ferment in the refrigerator for at least a day. It's better 3-4 days in. Well, it's been about 10 minutes. This probably rose a little bit. It rose a good amount. But that's not the point. The point is now we're going to divide it into 4 pieces. If you really want to be chefy about it, you could weigh each one of these pieces and make them like individually perfect. I don't know how to do that. I mean, I know how to do that. I just, who has the time for that? So let's cut these into 4 individual kind of balls. These basically is going to be 1 pizza dough. I'll move these over to the side because now we're going to do the same thing again and make them small. So again, I'm holding like this. I'm going to kind of fold it in on itself, and I'm going to continue to do that. You see how I'm like taking my hand and I'm pushing the surface towards the back, and I'm going like that. So I have like kind of like a little mozzarella ball, like a fresh mozzarella ball. Look, there's already air pockets coming in. It's awesome. Love to see it. So now just look like that. Just roll it around. Roll around. You want a nice little fresh dough ball, round. This part doesn't really, you don't have to get this part perfect. It doesn't really matter. Put that there. Do the same thing. You know why this doesn't matter is we're going to put this in the bag, and it's going to cold ferment anyway for a couple of days. So the shape is going to lose shape, but you want this for the structural integrity of it. You see the air already popping up? That's awesome. That means you know it's alive. Oh, it's farting. You hear the air coming out. All right. There's going to be 4 pizzas. Now, basically, there's no science here. Open up the Ziploc bag. Throw it in there. There it is. Now, close it up. Try to get some of that air out. It's going to definitely expand in there. And it's going to ferment, just like beer ferments. It's going to ferment in here, and it's going to definitely make it itself known. It's going to take over most of the space. But put this in the refrigerator. I'm telling you, at least 3 days. 4, 5. It's going to be good. All right, it's been like 1 minute, and these have been in there, and they're already kind of being gassy. Like the air, the cover of the bags are starting to turn kind of moist. So it's all good. What we're going to do is throw this, all 4 doughs, right inside the chill chest. See you later, buddy. Try not to crush it. You want the air to happen here. So don't like put this on top. Don't put something else on top of it. It's okay if it happens, but you want it to, have room to expand. I guess I'll see you in 5 days.